Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and at www.permanentrecordpodcast.com.
Blue Zone Podcast Network presents Permanent Record, an in-depth look at the classic albums of the 70s and 80s. Albums which have earned a permanent place of honor both in our hearts and in our record collections.
Thanks very much to my friend Jimmy K for that nice introduction. It was a treat to see you on Facebook yesterday, buddy, because you're never there. My name is Brian.
And I am Sarah.
And we are here today with the pride of Liverpool.
Right. That's could be so many different people, right?
It could be. It could be John Lennon. It could be Pete Burns. It couldn't be either of those.
No, this one's alive.
Yep, that's one of Mr. Andrew Dineley of Classic Pop Magazine is sitting in with us today. How's it going, Andrew?
It's going very well. It's great to be back on the show again.
Thanks for calling back in.
We're so glad that you decided to come back and talk some more with us.
Well, it's a wonderful album, so I think it deserves at least 3 people's opinions on it.
I like that idea, yes.
Deserves 3 wonderful people's opinions.
I guess we'll have to do.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so before we get over to side 1 of The Innocents, we hope you caught up with our last episode where we gave you all the background information you will need to enjoy this great record. But before we get listening to that, I just want to take this chance. I always appreciate it, and I know Sarah appreciates it, when you nice folks, our friends who listen to our show, take the time to give us a little write-up on iTunes. We got 2 really good reviews this past week, and I just wanted to mention them and thank you if you are the person that took the time to go out and leave them for us. We got a 5-star review, Sarah.
Wonderful. I always like those.
Yeah, from SZC Zabluski. And his review or her review is titled Love It.
Oh,
5 stars.
Telegraphing their review already.
Yep. They're short and to the point. Andrew, this is the review. It's a brief one, but it says a lot. It says, listen, you won't be disappointed.
I would agree.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
So thank you for that review. I'm glad that you are enjoying what we are offering up.
That's right.
And then we had another review, another 5-star review from Vic Park. This has the best final sentence of any review we've ever received.
Yeah, I know. We gushed over this for a while.
Excellent 80s new wave alternative discussion. And Vic Park says, found this podcast quite by accident from a recent Twitter thread. Wow. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the first episode was devoted to Upstairs at Eric's by Yaz. I love that record. Pet Shop Boys, love. New Order, love. Depeche Mode, love. Dead or Alive, Culture Club, The Fix, Erasure, Howard Jones, 3 episodes talking about the Thompson Twins Into the Gap. This podcast has everything. Sign me up. I want to be best friends with these 80s new wave nerds.
I love that so much. I just do. It's so true.
That's an amazing sentence.
We're completely nerdy about this stuff. We love it. We're really glad other people love it too.
So thank you guys to both of you for taking time for those reviews. We appreciate it.
Yes.
All right. So we are here today to talk about, let me close this out. All right. We are here today to talk about side 1 of the wonderful 1988 album by Erasure, The Innocents.
Well, it's about time. We're finally going to talk about the songs. We've been teasing this for a very long time.
I know. Andrew, are you ready to talk about some music?
I'm ready and waiting.
Now, we're also going to talk about some artwork, especially since we have Andrew here. That is his field of excellence. Andrew writes the more or less monthly column in Classic Pop Magazine called Pop Art. So if you're going to talk to someone about pop music artwork and sleeves, he's the guy you want to talk to.
Yep.
And we're also going to talk about some videos because, as fate would have it, all the videos of this record are on side 1, I think, right?
Yes, that's right.
So we are finally ready to talk about side 1, track 1 of Erasure's The Innocents. It's a song that everyone's going to know. We're going to get off to a great start here with a song called A Little Respect.
Oh, yeah. I know that song.
You recognize that one, guys?
Yeah. It's pretty familiar to me.
Yeah, I think that was quite a big hit, that one.
Yeah, it was. I think so. It was released in the UK on September 19th, 1988. It spent 2 months in the UK Top 20, and it peaked at number 4 in the 4th week on the charts there. So in America, this is one of those situations where I had to do some backwards math to figure out when it was released.
I still haven't figured it out.
I'm guessing. I know that it got to number 14 on the Hot 100 the week of March 4th, 1989. And it had been on the charts for 13 weeks at that point. So that math would lead me to believe it was released in December of 1988, but I guess it could have been above 100 for a few weeks if it...
Right, yeah, I guess, right.
So I'm not exactly sure. I mean, it was late 88 that it came out in America, but I don't know what date. Anyway, it got to 14 on the Hot 100, but it did even better than that on the Billboard Hot Dance Club Play chart.
No surprise.
Yeah, no kidding. It got to number 2 the week of January 28th, 1989, after 8 weeks on the chart. This is just after the album had captured the number 1 position on the UK charts for the second time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Pretty much at this point in their career, any Erasure single is going to hit top 5 on the US dance charts. Like that was their, up until this record, when suddenly there was a wider audience for them, that was their American audience.
Right.
Their 12-inch singles always did great on the charts.
Right. And you know me, I always have information about other countries.
Okay.
So this one actually did well in a lot of other countries. The first one I'd like to mention is Singapore. It got to number 6 in Singapore. Isn't that unusual? Yeah.
Yeah, we don't often talk about their charts.
I don't know that we've ever mentioned Singapore in any other episode. We have mentioned Ireland, though, and it got to number 7 in Ireland, got to number 14 in Poland, 19 in Japan. Now, this I thought was interesting because in countries where British acts are usually really popular, like Germany and Canada, this song wasn't really quite as impressive on the charts. It only hit number 34 in Germany and 42 in Canada. And
that's pretty weird.
Yeah, because I think the album itself did well in both countries, but this particular song, for some reason, just didn't resonate with those audiences. I don't know why.
To this day, this single has one of my very favorite Erasure sleeves, and maybe Andrew has some information on it, but it's like a purple background. It looks like sort of like an ancient arena or something, and the font combined with that regal-looking purple, it looks like a really classy record sleeve, I think.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I don't know what it means. I don't know what the relevance is to
Well,
the song.
As we talked last time, there was no real plan for these singles, I guess.
Just picking colors and images that looked really good.
Yeah, I suppose the common link is that they're all very sort of garish, bright colours, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
And I just love that color purple. This is one of the songs when every couple months or so, I like to restock the jukebox with different songs. And I always like putting this one back in so I can see the sleeve again.
I think the good thing about this single as well is that it just, all of the different versions of it and the B-sides, everything was high quality. I loved all of the extra tracks that went with it, and it just felt like Erasure could do no wrong at this point.
The B-side for this one was like Zsa Zsa Gabor?
Yeah, and Love is Colder Than Death as well was another kind of very dramatic.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a Pet Shop Boys title.
But there were so many different remixes and different versions as well, and I remember buying them all. I just couldn't get enough of this song.
This is a great song, and it has stood the test of time. I saw on Wikipedia there's a listing for like 8 different cover versions by different artists,
right?
And that's not even counting the one that Erasure themselves recorded in 2010.
That's right,
to benefit the Hedrick Martin Institute, which is like the US's oldest and largest LGBTQ youth service program. It's a really cool video. It's a good version of the song. You never see Vince Clarke. I was actually wondering if Vince is the person who plays that music or if that was really just like an Andy Bell project.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think it's a nice version, though. It hasn't got choir. There's like a choir on it as well.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I
correct.
think don't know if they're associated with that organization or just like in the neighborhood. I forget exactly.
I read who they were and I forget. It's nice because it's updated. You can tell it's a new version and it sounds updated, but it's not terribly modern sounding. It still has a lot of the Erasure sensibilities.
I think with this song, 1988, even though it is a long time ago, it's not long enough for it to feel like it's a proper classic in the same way that we think of the Beatles as classic music. But I think in another decade, this particular song will be the song that we think of as things like Hey Jude, or, I think it's got that real anthemic, enduring quality to it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I hope you are correct, because I think it does deserve to be up there.
Yeah, and that ties in so well with a little review I have about the song. I mean, those are some of the exact words almost. Mind if I share it with you?
Go ahead.
All right. So I mentioned in the previous episode a review from Metro Weekly, and they talk about this song. They said, the second U.S. single and third in the UK, A Little Respect, has become an anthem that is still guaranteed to get a room full of guys to sing at the top of their lungs, regardless of their ability to hit the high notes. And I loved that. And that is so true, because
This song works as both like a gay anthem and a sports song. There are fans of different Scottish, British, and Irish football teams that sing this song at their matches, and a British rugby team uses this song as their official team song. It appeals to everybody.
Right, right.
It's such a good song.
I was out recently with some friends and we were just in a bar and there was a choir for some reason in the bar.
Oh, wow.
And they were all singing pop songs. They were doing like the Smiths and it's very unusual.
A choir singing the Smiths.
And they all burst into this song at one point. And I'd completely forgotten about it and I found it on my phone the next morning of us singing along with the choir.
Oh, that's a wonderful experience.
That's awesome.
I love that. I don't think that would happen here. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe in New York City or something.
Do you know the name, Andrew? Do you know the name Neil Francis?
No, doesn't ring a bell.
When I was doing my research, I actually spent some time going off on this tangent with this guy named Neil Francis. I saw an article about him and then I ended up watching some YouTube videos. But he is evidently a BBC broadcaster of something. I don't know if he's a major one, but he is on the BBC. There's a YouTube video of him that went viral. It was watched over like 2 million times. And it was him after an Erasure concert. And he was walking down to the train to go back home. And he said he was feeling like really like exhausted because the concert was so awesome. But now it was over. And now he had a really long train ride home. He was standing there on the platform with everyone else that was going to get on the train and everyone was mopey. Like you're looking around and everybody's just looking at the ground. And he just starts singing this song.
A little respect.
Yeah. And he has a pretty good voice. Everybody in the platform starts singing along with him. And
wow.
He's holding his phone up, filming it, and everyone's singing and dancing.
Why you make me wax so hard? Let's give it up, let's give it up, let's give it up, let's give it up so. I hear you calling.
It went viral. Then I saw him on different BBC shows being interviewed about it, and it led to him. There was some sort of special night called 30 Years of Erasure, which I could just see the stage. It didn't seem like it was anywhere fancy. It looked like it was maybe just sort of like a tribute to Erasure at some sort of local thing. But Andy Bell showed up because this guy, his viral video was so big. Andy Bell showed up and sang this song on stage with Neil Francis.
Oh my gosh.
It was crazy.
That's a great story.
I've just looked it up now, and I do know the clip you're talking about. I remember it now. Yeah, he's on the London Underground, isn't he, singing?
Yeah. And when you watch it, it immediately brings a smile to your face because it's so much fun.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it's not really Erasure facts. That's not Erasure knowledge, but it's such a cool tangent. I thought it was cool bringing it up.
It's Erasure-related trivia. I think it's perfectly acceptable to bring it up here.
Yeah.
Now everyone's going to have to find it.
The clip of Andy Bell and him singing A Little Respect is on YouTube as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw it there too.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'll have to go look these up then.
Can I just, before we get talking about the track, I just want to tell you guys my best memory of this song.
Oh, wonderful, yes.
Because it has nothing to do with this period when it was in the top 20, or really it has very little to do with Erasure. But our friend Colby, who has sat in with us a few times here on the show, he's a pretty good gauge of what movies and television I'm going to like. And many, many years ago, he said to me, hey, there's a new show on TV. It just started 2 weeks ago. You should check it out. It's called Scrubs.
Aha.
Have you ever heard of this show, Andrew?
I have, yeah.
And so whatever week it was, I think it was episode 2 or episode 3, I tuned it in to watch my first episode of it. And within the first 30 seconds of the show, this conversation that I have a recording of, it's not a very good recording, so hopefully you'll be able to make it out, Andrew. But this conversation takes place. It's between two surgeons who are in the operating room with the patient on the table, and it's a very heated discussion. You can tell things are very, very tense.
Look, I've been attending for 3 years here. What makes you think you know better?
In my gut, I know I'm right.
We need to make this decision now.
Fine, then it's on you.
Yes, it is. Nurse, Erasure.
Yes, doctor.
I try to discover a little something to make.
I remember that now.
And I was like, oh my God, this show is going to be my new favorite show. Within 30 seconds of me tuning in, they're already talking about Erasure. And then the episode goes on. They kind of compare that song to a virus because it goes from like person to person in the hospital.
Yeah.
And as the episode happens, different people were singing it in different scenes. And the best thing about it, I have always thought that this is one of those earworm songs.
Oh, yeah.
It gets stuck in your head. And I was like, well, it'll probably get stuck in your head for like 2 days. Uh-huh. And on the episode, there's also a storyline where two of the characters almost kiss, but they got broken up. And he said, the man and the couple said, I have like 48 hours or else the opportunity for this kiss is going to go away. So there's a countdown clock in the episode so you can see how much time it has till he can kiss the girl again. But that countdown clock also serves, in my opinion, for how long that song is going to be stuck in everyone's brain. 48 hours.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I had forgotten about that episode of Scrubs. I saw that it was mentioned. I never went back to look at exactly the context. I'm so glad you played that little clip because as soon as you started playing that, I'm like, oh, yes, I remember that. And I remember sharing that moment with you and thinking, this is such a wonderful show. They're playing Erasure.
Yep.
I think as well with this song, it's interesting because, we talked on the introductory episode about the design and the sort of the stained glass window and the religious aspect, but it almost has a sort of hymn-like quality to it. And the fact that it talks about religion or reason in the lyrics as well, I think it really sets the tone for the album.
That's
it really
so
does,
true.
which makes it a really good choice for the first song on the album, don't you think, Andrew?
I would agree, yes.
Wait a minute.
Who was it?
No, I'd agree that it's a great song to open an album with because it's so big. But I just think that it's the structuring of this album. It's too clustered to the first side. All of those singles together, I think, should
Top
be spread
heavy?
out more. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Because it's all the singles are on the first.
Yeah.
Including the third single that took 20 years to be released.
Yep, that's right.
Right.
This song is so warm and welcoming, that initial keyboard sound, and then that acoustic guitar strumming kicks in, and it makes it even better.
Right.
And then Andrew sings I'm So In Love With You, and we get sort of like a synthesizer strings kind of thing joining in at that point. It's constantly building up, and and it's great because I want to stop using the word welcoming and warm, but Vince is known for artificial sounding things, at least to me at this point.
Yes.
And you put on this record and immediately you're hit with something that is so nice and organic sounding, even though it's still artificial. It was such a different sound.
Yeah, the
to
guitar
hit you with right out of the gate.
Yeah. So when I was trying to figure out how I could talk about these songs and the music in them without saying the same things over and over again, this one, I have some imagery in my head. And I said, this song itself wakes up. I said, one time when I was listening to this and I was trying to be all analytical, I got the sense of a person waking up in the morning and leaving their apartment building and walking down a city street singing. And then people just start joining the person and walking along. And eventually there's this just big crowd of people joining this person on their morning walk. So it's like I'm kind of playing an alternate music video in my head.
Yeah, really.
But that's like the visuals in my head because of the way the music is being introduced. It just kind of builds and builds and builds. And it's an anthemic song. So then you see this crowd of people and this big soundscape accompanying them.
I can see that working where the different instruments come in. He's just a little closer to being ready to leave the house.
Yeah.
At the 1 minute mark, almost as if it was planned at the 1 minute mark, that fill in, the drums kick in, and that would be when his feet hit the sidewalk. And now from that point on, people are going to be falling into step behind him.
Yeah.
So you get this big group just walking down the street belting out this song.
Yeah, I could totally see this happening.
The record company would have never stretched to that for the video.
It must have been expensive to chain a grand piano to the ceiling, though, for that other video.
Oh, I know.
But we'll talk about that. I think the melody line of this song, this is great work from Andy. It's just perfect. If you have heard the song before, it instantly comes to your mind when you need it. It's logical. You can hear it a couple times and be able to sing along with it because it makes sense.
Yeah.
And the first time you hear it, you feel like you've known this song your whole life. You feel like it's something so familiar. It's so fun to sing along with.
That's kind of what I meant when I was talking about it, almost feeling like it was a hymn in some ways. It's sort of it's rousing, isn't it, in that respect?
Yeah.
And also lyrically, it's very, very positive and optimistic, and the whole respect concept. It's all very warm, isn't it? And I think rousing is the word, really.
I like that. Yeah. I just have upbeat and cheerful, but I like rousing even better.
I think that the main point that it seems so rousing and so upbeat has to be credited to the music, because some of the words aren't really all that upbeat, right?
I agree. I think some of them are a little more serious and troubled.
The narrator is kind of frustrated, right? He's dealing with someone who's not being treated as lovingly and as nicely as he himself is treating his significant other. It's different, and it seems like difficult for them to work out their problems for a reason unbeknownst to him.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys get from this?
Yeah, I can see both sides of it. I mean, it's optimistic in that I'm just reading the lyrics now, and he's saying about we can make love, not war, and so there's a sort of hopeful quality to it. But
Right,
I think you're probably right that it is. Yeah, he's in a difficult place.
Mm-hmm.
And another interesting thing, I read that Vince took some convincing to let Andy use the word respect in the title.
Really?
Because of Aretha Franklin.
Yep, he felt that was a very overused word.
Oh.
And Andy or Vince said that it led to like a 30-minute debate while they were working on the song till they finally agreed that, all right, we're going to do it.
Oh, my goodness.
I think he probably would have been in trouble if he'd wanted to spell it, R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, perhaps. I have a lot on the way that the words are written and the way that they're sung, which is, there's a difference to that. And if you don't go and look up the lyrics, you may not realize it. But when I see the words in print, I think that they're even more clever than they may originally seem, especially in the second verse, those last lines, what religion or reason could drive a man to forsake his lover.
Okay.
Then we get that pre-chorus. In this instance, the line is, don't you tell me no, repeated 4 times. And then we get a break. And then the next line is, soul, comma, I hear you calling. So when you hear the song and the way it's sung, you could take this to be the singer asking a question and kind of answering it himself. The question is, what religion or reason could drive a man to forsake his lover? And before the other person can even answer, the singer warns them not to give the answer, no soul. Don't you tell me no soul. Then the singer moves on to another thought and says, I hear you calling. But you could also take these sections on their own as they're written. The first part is just a question that's left hanging, unanswered. And then we have a plea from the singer, presumably with their lover, don't you tell me no. And then they call that person soul, as in soulmate, maybe. And they say, soul, I hear you calling. It's all very crazy, but that's kind of what I got from reading him versus listening to him.
I was trying to follow. I got a little lost.
No, I think I know what you mean. But I think a lot of his lyrics are ambiguous in some way. I think that, just the fact that I can see what you mean about it being a heavy song, but I think there is a lot of optimism in it as well. And I think sometimes it's how you read it, really.
Right. I think it's kind of neat, though, at least when I read the lyrics and I look at them, how they're on the page versus how they're sung, I think you can definitely interpret them different ways. Mm-hmm. So I like that. Let me say one more thing about Andy's word choices. He often has some really interesting ways of saying things that you wouldn't really ever say in real life. But when he sings them, it's fine. Like no one in real life would ever say, "Baby, refrain from breaking my heart." Like you just wouldn't ever say that. But when he sings
we all say that.
It's
in English.
Fine. Yeah, do you? Yeah. Just think about that. Out of context, nobody says that. But when he sings it and you sing right along, it's just wonderful.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Fine.
We had a little bit of a discussion there about if the song is completely upbeat or if there's a little darkness to it and stuff. But one thing that I think we can say for sure is that the video does not have much of a dark side to it.
Not at all.
And I wonder whether that's why in my head I do see it as more of a positive song, because I associate it with that video, which is so kind of silly.
Oh, yeah.
The most literal video ever filmed.
I know, for sure. Oh, but I love it. All the puns. Oh, I love it. It's so corny. It's so quirky. It's so Erasure. I mean, it really is.
Yeah. And it has a couple Erasure, oh my God, my vocabulary today is so terrible. Tropes.
Oh.
It has a few Erasure tropes in it. You have Andy in the plain white t-shirt.
Yes, t-shirt and jeans.
That he wears so
It's
often.
like his uniform.
Yep. And much like Heavenly Action, we once again get some of those.
We get some Cupids.
Some Cupids or cherubs,
Yeah.
those little kids.
Uh-huh.
But this is probably one of my very favorite Erasure videos. I sort of sometimes think that Erasure, their videos don't always live up to the songs. I think Depeche Mode and The Cure are more, I've always thought that their videos were a little better than Erasure's, but this particular video is a great one.
I agree. How do you feel about it, Andrew?
I would agree as well. And I think the difference with the examples that you've given is that The Cure have that long-term relationship with Tim Pope around video, and Depeche Mode have a similar relationship with Anton Corbijn.
Oh, that's a great point.
I think that the fact that you have a director that understands the band and a band that trusts the director makes for a great end result. And I think that that's possibly part of the problem with Erasure's videos, why they all feel a bit different and there's no sort of through link with them all.
Right. They're disjointed.
That is so true, because Depeche Mode's videos aren't good until they meet Anton.
Right.
Yes.
Their videos are just as lackluster as anyone else's.
Yeah, and all over the map.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah, this guy that directed this video was Peter Christopherson, and he has.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So, you know him then.
Yeah.
The ones I saw, he did videos for Van Halen, the Nick Kershaw, 9 Inch Nails, and even, Brian, Stabbing Westward.
Oh, Stabbing Westward.
Yeah, so how do you know him, Andrew?
Peter Sleazy Christopherson was a member of a group called Throbbing Gristle, which is a really influential industrial band. A lot of people will cite them, as an influence and, a real sort of inspiration.
They were a naughty band, weren't they?
They were very naughty.
Yeah.
But, what they were doing was completely left field. But, for that reason alone, they were very influential. He's sadly no longer around, is he, Peter Christopherson?
Oh, I didn't look.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of became more aware of him when he did some of the videos for They did an album called Infected, where it was one of the first video albums where every album track had a specific video that went with it. And Peter Christopherson did a couple of the tracks for that. I really liked what he did.
Well, we all like this one for sure.
I think one of the things I like so much about it is that we get some actual smiles from Vince Clarke in this.
Yes. Yes, we do. Oh, there's so many great parts in this video. It's hard to not talk about every single one of them. I love the first time that Vince does give Andy literally a little respect.
Oh, yeah.
It's like tiny.
Yep.
But then by the end of the video, it's huge, as it should be, because I think respect is hugely important.
So true.
And did you get nearer the end of the video, the sort of slight Depeche Mode reference?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
I was not happy to notice that.
I was a little disappointed by that. They had the megaphone with the Depeche Mode symbol on it, and they spray paint right over top of it. Like, what?
Yeah, I made a note of that, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I also, next to that note, I also said that Erasure chinsed out a little bit. The third time they sing soul, the word soul,
Yeah.
they actually show a picture of sewing.
Yeah, sewing.
I'm like, that's not the same word, guys.
So, yeah.
I was annoyed by that point.
Oh, were you? How do you feel about the fish?
Oh, I love the fish earrings.
Yes,
Yeah,
how he
those are great.
pretends to wear them as earrings. I love that.
I love that.
I love when they have the polka dot kerchief bags on a stick like hobos, and they're walking away.
Yeah, I have a note here about, and I put a cross through it even before I said it. It said, this video is great because it has hobo bags on sticks.
Yes.
I love that.
I know.
So this is a delightful little clip that I think serves the song really well.
Oh, yeah.
No, I just wonder whether, this is sort of thinking aloud really, the video is very camp and playful and silly. And the song is quite an uplifting, as we've talked about before. In a way, the video trivializes the song slightly, possibly.
A little bit. I did have a note about that, and then I didn't say it, but I could see you thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably looking back now because we sort of revere it now.
Yes.
It's a classic, so it feels a little bit like it's disrespectful, ironically.
Right. When they filmed the video, that's a good one. They didn't know the anthem it was going to go on to become. Yeah.
And at least they do make the word respect bigger throughout it, so they've got that going.
All right, so that brings us up to song number 2. And this is the first single from the album if you were in the UK. We never had this one here in the US as a single. But it is called Ship of Fools.
He was the baby of the class, you know. He really didn't know that. Really didn't know that. Oh, what a soul. Do we not sail on the ship of fools? Why is life so precious and so cruel?
It's an interesting choice for the first single, Ship of Fools, I think, because it's such a slow song and it's quite sonically it's very different as well to a lot of the stuff on the album and certainly to everything that came before this album. I remember buying the single the day it came out. I hadn't even heard it. I was aware it was coming out and I thought I have to have the new Erasure single. I'm being a bit confused by it because it was so different. I wasn't sure it was what I wanted to hear. I mean, I think now it is a great song, but it was quite a brave first single from the album.
It really was, because this is not at all what they were known for.
Yeah, I have the same note that this was a rather bold choice for a single from the band. A ballad, and it's really a different kind of a sound and different subject matter. It's not just about love, and
Although, correct me if I'm wrong, They released The Circus, the actual song The Circus, as a single, right? In the UK?
They did, yes. Yeah.
And was that the last single taken from the album?
Yes, it was.
So that was the single prior to this was The Circus, which is also a really weird choice.
Oh, yeah.
I think that one's not really a ballad, I guess, but it is like a mid-tempo, not a dance
Yeah,
song.
that's true. Yeah.
So it's just like
Taking it a step further, perhaps?
when you look at their single discography, that stands out as like a weird period of time where they're releasing some very non-traditional Erasure sounding stuff as singles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right. There is a similarity in terms of the tempo and stuff, but I think the fact that this was almost like, I hate to use the word comeback because they hadn't gone away, but do you know what I mean? The first you'd expect one of the bolder tracks, like for instance, A Little Respect, to have been the first single.
Right.
Yeah, something more expected or accessible. Not that this isn't accessible, but this is a little bit off the beaten path for them.
I mean, that they were right. They were right to do what they did because it was a huge commercial hit, and it was very well received by the music press at the time as well. I think that maybe they were deliberately coming back to say, we've changed. This is, we're not all about big pop songs anymore. We can, be more serious, maybe.
Yeah, and I was sort of thinking that same thing with them knowing how strong the entire album was. I think that they felt comfortable they could try to say, hey, we're not just a dance band. Here's this new single. And if it would happen to not do well, our next song is going to be awesome.
Right.
So we'll just make up for lost ground.
It got single of the fortnight by Smash Hits magazine at the time.
Yes, I had that review here, and they were just thrilled about it. They loved it.
What did they say about it?
Oh, what a joy it is to hear a record that isn't taken over by twittering synthesizers, pumping bass lines and drum beats 10 to the dozen, especially when it comes from Erasure, who've built up their reputation making infectious dance music from those ingredients. Ship of Fools is first and foremost a song, not a load of sterile bumps and clicks cobbled together in the way that some of the records in the charts are at the moment. So if it was their intention to come back with something new to sort of, present themselves as, not the same old act everyone had been used to, then I think it succeeded.
Yeah, I guess you were right, because like you said, it did really well on the charts.
Yeah, it did. I wonder why it wasn't released as a single in the States.
I was thinking about that this week. Since their only success in the States had been on the dance charts, I suspect that the label said, we're not going to release a non-dance song.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Did we even talk about where it went on the charts in the UK?
I don't think we did, no.
Well, I guess that's always something I like to mention. So it got to number 6 on the UK charts. So that's really quite good. Mm-hmm. And it also got to number 6 in Ireland. And it was 7 in Sweden, 9 in Germany, 11 in South Africa, and 12 in Switzerland.
Sounds like a worldwide hit.
I must agree.
Except for that one place.
I think it probably got them a new set of fans as well. People who weren't necessarily into the more poppy stuff. I wonder if they pulled in a more mature audience with that single as well, perhaps.
It could be because it definitely has that kind of tone to it.
Oh, yeah. So
if you look at the way that it's packaged as well, it just feels more grown up than the Circus as well. It feels a more mature album, I think.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
That's absolutely true. That's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that, but when you bring it up, yeah, that makes sense. It's definitely a more mature feel to it.
Speaking of the packaging of this record, this is, of all the sleeves that we see for this album and for these singles, this is the only one that I'm not too crazy about.
Okay.
There's so much blue. It's not really an attractive picture, I didn't think. I don't know. I saw a couple of different versions. Maybe one was the 7-inch single and one was the 12-inch. And one of them had the font for the name of the song was like super fancy. It was like a font that was enclosed in a box with like stuff underneath it. And I really thought that mixing that particular font with the traditional Erasure lowercase logo, I didn't like the way that looked.
I think they were almost going for a slightly pirate look, weren't they? I think it sort of links in with all of the shells on the beach and the anchors and all of that stuff. But have you looked very, very closely, and you can see Vince and Andy in there as well?
Oh, really? I did not notice that.
They're actually standing in profile in the photograph, but they're in the background. But once you know they're there, you can't miss them.
Oh, I'll have to take a look.
I have to look for them.
I did not know.
Where's Waldo?
This is one because of the fact it was included in the Erasure singles box sets. I never got the regular 12-inch for this one, so I don't have that picture in my possession. I just saw it on Google image search.
It would have had to have been an import for us anyway. So can I read you the terrible review? that I have for this single. Did you see this one, Andrew? It's from
No.
It's from Number One magazine from February 27th,
I never heard of that
1988.
magazine until we started talking about ABC 2 weeks ago. That was the first time I ever heard it. Now it keeps popping up.
Well, I found a source, so it probably will keep popping up as long as I can find things that are relevant. So
Number One magazine was like a less colourful version of Smash Hits. Very similar magazine, but not quite as quirky and not as nicely designed or colourful.
Oh, okay.
But still really interesting magazine. I used to read it, but I always felt like Smash Hits was the superior of the two.
yeah, and it lasted not as long, so I suppose that's probably indicative of the quality wasn't as good, so it didn't last as long. But
Yeah, I think so.
they did not like this single at all. They say, "Ship of Fools, more harrowing chronicles of our times from Batman and Robin." What? Yeah, I don't know why they called them Batman and Robin. That's very, very, very strange.
I wonder which is which.
I don't. Man,
Yeah, good question.
I would have to say that Batman is Vince, just because he's always so solemn looking and very mean looking, like
Yeah,
Batman
maybe.
would be.
So dour.
So they go on to say, memorable in a toothache sort kind of way, and not a patch on Circus, which was at least disguised in brightness and light. And Andy Bell still sounds exactly like Alison Moyet. 2 stars. So wrong.
Harsh.
So wrong in so many ways. So I had to read it to you just to get your reactions to those ridiculous words.
No, I don't agree.
No, neither do I.
I've never thought Andy sounds exactly like Alison Moyet. When people say he sort of sings similar in a similar style to her, or that there's some similarity, I'm always like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But these people that say he sounds exactly like her, that he's a clone,
They must be deaf.
they must be.
I'm just appalled by that comparison. I don't see that at all or hear it at all either.
I think it's a very lazy thing to say, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
they're clearly
Yeah.
just connecting Vince Clarke, so therefore, it's just, be a bit more imaginative with your criticism.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know Dave Jacob?
He's a producer or an engineer or something, is he?
Yeah,
No?
he co-produced this song.
Yes.
But I think he was an engineer usually, and he had worked with the Pet Shop Boys on a couple songs that I didn't write them all down, but it was all songs that seemed to have ended up as B-sides, like I Get Excited,
Oh, okay.
The New Life. I'm trying to remember. I didn't write them down, but none of them were like album cuts that made the actual albums, and he worked with Communards evidently on the Red album.
Yeah, it's one of those names that you see in the credits, isn't it? When you're scouring your record sleeve.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, liner notes.
So for some reason, he helped produce this one song, and this was the only one on the record that he worked on as a producer.
Strange.
Yeah, it's always so weird when they bring one person and then just do like one song. I don't know how that happens or why, but okay, it happened.
Or maybe this song was finished before the others were, because I don't know how far ahead of the album's release this single was.
2 months.
But
They came out 2 months before the
Yeah,
album.
February 22.
So yeah, that could be it. They may have gotten an early start on this one track before they really knew the plan going forward for the rest of the record.
Yeah, possibly.
But I do think that, like, maybe Sarah's review didn't agree with this, but I do think that this is Erasure's most mature songwriting to date. I don't think there's anything on those first 2 records that carries the same sort of emotional impact in both its sound and its music.
I'd agree.
Lyrically, I think we had Spiraling, which was really, really powerful, but it kind of lacked the sophisticated accompaniment that we get with this song. And this is leaps and bounds.
Beyond that.
Yeah, more mature. But I hate to say that it's more mature, because when you talk about music, a lot of times maturity means boring. And it's not boring.
No.
It's just that richer, fuller sound. And
Yeah, I suppose for me, maturity, I mean more accomplished. It's bigger. It feels more. What's the word I'm looking for?
We're all losing our vocabulary as the day goes on.
It just feels bigger. It feels
Yeah.
more serious, like it's taken longer to record, like it's...
yeah.
Yeah, it's a step beyond where they are. It's a progression in their natural development of as musicians and as a band.
Right.
Yeah.
They're becoming comfortable with themselves and with each other and the way they work together and how they can kind of produce something that sounds very cohesive and intelligent.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's also maturity in accepting that sometimes you need to try something different. That's quite a brave thing to do for a band that's suddenly, they've only really had one big album and suddenly they're willing to do something very different. There's a maturity in doing that, I think, to risk it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, just ask ABC about that.
So Vince said that he thinks writing Ship of Fools was his favorite moment of this entire record.
Wow.
And maybe that's because once Stephen came on board, Stephen Hague, he quit having a good time.
Yeah.
But
his last bit of fun before Stephen showed up.
Yeah. He said, we did it in my front room with a guitar and a micro cassette recorder. I played some chords, Andy sang something, and the complete song almost happened in one take.
Wow.
It was just one of those magical moments when you felt the tune is really haunting and right.
Very nice. That's good to hear.
Which is possibly why it was the first single. They were obviously very enamored by it.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Andrew, I have a note here to myself. The overall track is quite dramatic. Overall tone of the track is quite dramatic from the wonderful sounds Vince Clarke is getting for what I'm sure is some sort of great new synth that Andrew can tell me about.
Unfortunately, I can't, because I think that, like I said in the previous episode, I think this is more Stephen Hague's album, and I think that he has a less definable sound. I don't think he can pin the noises down in the same way that you can with a lot of others. So I couldn't say. I have to hold my hands up and say I have no idea.
Okay. Well, how about this? How about this question? I bet you can answer this one. Is Vince someone who uses presets a lot, or does he program things or change things to make them his own a little bit before he puts them on a record?
Well, back in the olden days when he was using analog stuff like all the the Roland SH101 and the sequential circuits, Pro 1 and all of those, they don't really have presets, so you're having to create your own sound. But he managed to create his own sounds with that equipment. The sounds that you think of and you hear those instruments and you think that's a very yazoo-y sound. Mm-hmm. So he used those instruments to create his own sound environment. And that's one of the things I think that makes this album so different, that they're not necessarily evident on this album. The tune is there and the structure is there, and obviously Andy Bell's voice is there. But Vince's sounds are very much played down, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because there are not that many times when I say and listening to these songs that, oh, yep, that's Vince right there. Whereas on previous albums, you can definitely, oh yeah, that's Vince and classic Vince. You don't hear a lot of what we would call classic Vince on here, even compared to things we hear later from the band. Some of the stuff we were listening to before the show. Some of that you're like, oh yeah, that's Vince. Mm-hmm. And it's like 10, 20 years later. It doesn't have that.
We were warming up our voices singing along with some of the songs on Tomorrow's World, which is a way, way later album.
Right.
Yeah.
With a pretty strong producer. And there's still parts in there that are total Vince Clarke parts.
Yeah. You can pull them out and say, yes, Vince did this. And on this album, I don't think you have that many moments like that.
You don't. You really don't. But within a few months, they were all back again, weren't they? With the Crackers International thing.
Definitely.
I think that he really must have felt slightly pushed out musically by it. I think they're his songs, but they don't sound like his songs. They've been dressed up differently.
Indeed.
There's a musical part in this song that I really, really like. It's one of my favorite parts on the whole record, and I tried to isolate it to try to play what I was talking about. Behind the
staggered trumpety sound.
I don't think that's it. It's something that I sort of sounds like a musical kaleidoscope to me. It's behind when Andy says, "I close my eyes and I try to imagine what you're dreaming."
Oh, I know what you mean.
We then get this sound. I'll play it here.
Okay.
I close my eyes and I try to imagine what you're dreaming. Why can't you see
that sound, it just sort of builds up from like beneath him, and it comes up to the forefront and then retreats. But it sounds so cool, and it's something. I know that they haven't done this for any Erasure album, but if they would ever do a 5.1 surround mix of this record, I have to think that part probably would be incredible.
There's lots of strange little things going on with this record, I think, with Ship of Fools. I think there is that weird, the sound that I thought you were talking about, that weird trumpety sound that almost sounds like a coin being spun. It sort of starts off fast and then slows down. That's, I've never really heard that, I don't think, in anything else. There's lots of unique sounds in this album.
Even on this song, compared to other songs on the album, we hear some things that we're not going to hear anywhere else. I think the verses have a sound that's like either a clavichord or a harpsichord type sound, or maybe it's a guitar, or maybe it's a keyboard made to sound like a guitar that sounds like a harpsichord. Because that could be that. I don't know. But anyway, it has that kind of an older sound to it, maybe like from the Baroque period or something.
That it really adds to the atmosphere of the song. It works really well with this melody.
It gives it just that more of a haunting kind of feel to it.
Yeah. And with all this talk on the music of the song,
Yeah.
I don't want to forget this one little sentence that I have written right here. Vocally, I think this is probably the high point of the album. Andy gives a fantastic performance.
Oh,
I think his vocals on this track are wonderful.
okay.
It's deeper, isn't he? He's singing at a lot lower register on this song.
Yes, but this is the first of many on the album where he goes from really low to really high, because in the beginning of the verses he's singing really low, but by the pre-chorus he hits that really high note when he says poor soul.
Yeah, it's true.
The word poor, he's way up there. So it's pretty impressive range he's got in a lot of these songs, and he's doing really well with it too.
That's something that I think he always does a little better on record than he does live, is when songs that call for him to hug like close to his lower register and give a controlled vocal. He always does it so well in the studio, and then sometimes that gets lost a little bit live.
Auto-tune.
Andy Bell doesn't use that.
No.
I think it's just that is more difficult for him to sing.
Yeah.
So he has to be more careful with it in a live environment when he's dancing and performing. It's probably just a little more difficult to hit those notes quite as well.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, yeah.
Yeah. I like all the layered and overlapping vocals that we have, especially at the end of this one. And I think it matches really well with all the layered and overlapping synth sounds we get in this. It's just all kinds of layers and things like that. It makes me think of gossamer curtains floating in the night breeze. Just all this stuff floating around, and it's all kind of very ethereal and, I don't know, melancholy. And
no, I'd agree. I think, and that's why I think we use the word lush to describe it as well, because I think that it just feels so multi-layered and deep, doesn't it?
Yes, very much.
Now, I'm not going to argue with the American label's decision to skip this release, because by skipping right to Chains of Love, it worked out really well for Erasure. But we only had 2 singles over here. They quit releasing singles in the UK because of Crackers International. Here in the US, they didn't do anything with Crackers International.
No.
So they just quit releasing singles, period.
They really just dropped the ball.
So you didn't even get that EP in the States?
We got the EP, but nothing came out as an actual single.
Nothing was promoted for it.
As a 45. I kind of forget what we talked about. The rules for EPs on the US charts are different than the rules on the UK charts.
Right.
So, that's what it is. In the US, EPs go right to the album chart. In the UK, they count as singles.
Oh.
Yeah, so depending on the length and the number
Crackers
of tracks.
International
it was counted as a single in the UK.
As an album, and to the best of my knowledge, there was no physical 7-inch single release of Stop.
No, I don't think so.
So there was no chart action, top 100 single charts from that.
They had nothing to work with.
So
I wonder why would they do that?
I don't know. Baffling.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I'm basically just rambling on, so I can ask you guys, do you think that it would have been wise to release this song as a 3rd single here in the U.S.? And it probably would have lost momentum because it's a ballad after 2 upbeat songs that everyone loved.
Yeah.
But they've built such a larger audience than what they've ever had up to this point.
Right.
I have to think this song would at least do okay.
Yeah.
It would make the top 50 at least, based on the success of Little Respect.
Yeah, I think as a follow-up to A Little Respect, it probably would have done all right. And it would go with that just beautifully flowery write-up that the Sire Records people put out.
Yep.
Or the Mute Records, which one it was, where they were like, oh, yeah, they pushed the envelope in all these different ways. That's just another example of them doing so. And again, gaining a broader audience. And yeah, why not give it a shot? What do you have to lose at this point?
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Very odd decision.
So what do we think about this video?
It's fine. It's fine.
I thought it was a little boring.
Yeah.
And my first sentence was, this is a video that doesn't live up to the high quality of the song it is promoting. What do you think about this video, Andrew?
For me, it felt like they're just trying to stretch the whole ship thing again. So the kind of, the fact that there's shells and things on the record cover, and then it's like there's shells in the video, and it just felt a bit contrived. And yeah, I mean, the shells were pretty colours, but it was still a boring video.
Yeah, they're by the water, then they're under the water, and then it's all very blue, and I don't know. There's not much going on. And I thought, at least in the version I was watching on YouTube, that sometimes the dubbing didn't even look quite right. It looked like it was off by a little bit.
Well, that probably was just from a problem with the upload to YouTube.
Yeah. But like Andy didn't look really that into it in his performance of the song anyhow.
I think it's difficult to do an interesting performance in a video to a slow ballad. I think a lot of the success of your video for a ballad is going to rest on your director and the editor who can make those cuts and do the camera shots that make it interesting. Whoever cut this really, really failed them, because it's a very lethargically cut video.
I mean, I suppose you could read it. It's all part of them wanting to come back and be taken more seriously, and to try and attract a more mature audience. But then they did the Little Respect video after that. So,
So they went that.
Yep.
Yeah, here they are, all blue and brooding. And look, we're serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another thing that might have helped it was to have like introduce like a B story to it.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Like have something else, like the story
cutting
of this.
in between them performing and having something else happening. I think
Right.
that would have helped.
But the problem with that is that the song, it's kind of a cruel storyline.
Well, yeah.
And there's not really any resolution to it.
No.
Which I guess doesn't really matter. You can have a video that just
heavens, yes. Just have them going to the shop or something. I don't know.
It seemed like there were a couple ways they could have made this more interesting to watch, either with cutting it tighter or introducing more to it, other than them just looking mopey on the beach. But,
So this was directed by a man named Philip Vile, which has a very unfortunate last name.
Wait, remember how Best Films was filmed by someone named Best?
Yeah.
Is Vile Video the name of his company?
I don't know because this is the only video that I could find that he directed. I could not find him listed for anything else. So either he changed his name or he changed his job after doing this one video. But this is the only claim to fame that I can see for him. And that's not saying much. I mean, it could be a lot worse. It could be one of those.
Oh, yeah, it could be a lot worse.
It's just kind of bleh.
It has nice colors in it.
It does.
It has the beach, which is always nice to see. Andy's not wearing a white T-shirt. He's wearing a button-up shirt. So that's a step.
A blue shirt.
Yep. So
it does have those terrible cut-out seagulls, though, doesn't it?
That looks like elementary school or something. It's like so juvenile and amateur. I don't know why they did that.
So I think we all agree it's a pretty great song. It just happened to be accompanied by a video that's not quite up to the level of the tune.
All right.
Agreed. Don't forget to look at the cover, though, and see if you can spot them in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I just can't do it right now. All my screens are doing something.
I don't want to get distracted.
I'm imagining it like NASA or something.
It's quite the control center he has set up over here. He's got many devices.
All right, so that brings us up to song number 3. And this is the first song that wasn't a single. Or wait, maybe it was. We'll see. It's called Phantom Bride. Andrew, I don't know about you, but the amount of dancing we were just doing here at our little living room studio here, I think they made a terrible mistake not releasing this one as a single.
Or waiting 20 years to do so.
Yep.
It's that bass line, isn't it? It's such a infectious and thumpy bass line that you can't help but sort of, well, in my case, wobble around in the chair.
Same here, yep.
Yeah, it is so bouncy. I have that note. It's a bouncy song.
More than any other album cut here, this is the song that online people were just saying this is the single that never was.
Yep.
Everyone says that.
I have that note as well.
And I seriously can't believe it wasn't released anywhere in the world until
2009.
2009.
The 21st
Back in 1988,
anniversary.
you think some country, Germany or Singapore, evidently Singapore liked this album.
Yeah.
Somebody should have gotten this as a single. It's such a obvious decision.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they did go on to release a remix of it in 2009, as Sarah just said, is on the Phantom Bride EP, which tied into the 21st anniversary of this album. And it wasn't really this version of the song. It was a new mix of it. And it did sound a little more modern and a little more aggressive. But it was still pretty good. Did that song out as a single, did it do anything years later?
No, it didn't. Well, if it did, I didn't notice. But I don't, the charts now aren't really anything to be taken seriously anyway, I don't think.
Yeah, I bet.
Even if it wasn't released, I'm happy to see that this is a song that they just broke out last year for the 2017 UK tour. And they've been doing this one live, and it's going just 2 days ago, they released a new live album.
Oh, right.
On Pledge Music called World Be Live. It's the third part of a trilogy.
I guess.
World Be Gone.
World Beyond.
World Beyond and
World Be Live.
And this song is going to be on the live album. So I'm really excited. This is not retro.com mentions that they give the track a glossy reworking in the live setting. So maybe it kind of sounds a little bit like that 2009 remix. But I am really interested to see what they're doing with it.
Oh, maybe we'll get to see it performed live.
Maybe.
I think that this song on this album is the one that sounds the most Erasure-y, the sort of the traditional sound, and that's because it was recorded at the same time as the Circus. You know, they were performing. If you the special edition of the Circus had this on there as a session track.
Really?
Does it?
Yeah, so it goes back to that. It goes back to '87. This song, so it is in a way it doesn't belong on this album, and I think you can hear that in it. It feels much more old Erasure than Stephen Hague Erasure.
Well,
Wow, I never knew that.
No, that's amazing. But I would understand that now that you say that. It's got that very distinctive Vince bass line in it.
Yes, yeah.
And we've got that repeating keyboard pattern that he is very fond of. It starts at about 18 seconds. That kind of...
The Erasure gallop?
Yes, that's it. That's exactly right. And it's very, very prevalent here, more so than in some other songs on this album. But yeah, that's what makes it sound Erasure-y.
I think the very beginning of this song is kind of sexy and sinister.
Ooh.
The sounds we get
Okay.
that lead up to the first verse. I wrote it's unlike anything on the rest of this record, which I guess is because it was not written for this record. But before we get the bridge and the heavy sounding Vince keyboards, we just get that kind of dark, sexy kind of sound. I like it. Those Vince keyboards come in with the bridge, and I say that they're heavy, but I don't mean like heavy metal. Obviously, like that keyboard voice just sounds metallic and has like it carries weight to it every time he's hitting those chords. I really like it. I love all the voices Vince uses on this song in particular. He gets some great keyboard sounds with this one.
It's just a very uplifting song, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
But lyrically, it's a bit vacuous.
Yeah, this one I don't think has a real deep message that I could get out of it. Sort of disturbing, honestly.
I was thinking about it. I've always thought that it was just the story of a girl who grew up on the wrong side of town. She has kind of a bad life, and then she meets someone from the other side of town, the good side of town, and then she gets pregnant.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was about. And then when I was getting ready for the show here, I got kind of confused because I didn't understand why she was a phantom bride. And I started really, really reading it. And I think there's more to it than what I thought. I don't think the good boy from the other side of the town really exists.
Oh.
I think she is pregnant from someone that we don't know. She never mentions them, but it's probably someone is on her side of town, the bad side of the tracks.
One of her neighbors or something.
And she's inventing truths while she steals away to her secret place, imagining that her life isn't as bad as it really is. And it's a place where the kick inside is a result of her love with this good boy from the other side of town. He's going to treat her right and take care of her. But when that kick and her morning sickness brings her back to reality, it's all revealed as kind of a fantasy or a dream of hers. She's wishing that was true. And so she's a phantom bride because this person that she really wants to be the father and have the relationship with is just in her imagination.
Wow.
That's sort of what I was getting from it when I sat down to try to figure out for real what was happening. And I could be stretching and trying to force this. That's just what I thought.
No, I kind of like that idea.
I do, because I've always thought of it as very superficial, but you've just added some depth to it there, Brian.
So thank you.
Oh, sure. Andy Bell could tell me I'm totally wrong, though, if he was here.
Well.
But there was so much stress on how it's a secret place where she imagines things. And I was like, well, wait, if she's such a dreamer and is making all this up, maybe it impacts the story somehow.
Thank you for making us think on that one.
Oh, sure.
Do you want me to play you the Circus version of it?
Yeah, if you have it.
Ooh.
Is that a demo or is that a finished version?
It was done for a session for Radio 1.
Okay.
10th of March, 1987.
Wow, that sounds very, very different.
Yeah.
I like it, though. But
in the same session, they did Spiraling, Gimme, 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 The Circus.
Wow.
In fact, it was those 4 songs.
Okay.
Cool. And what is that? What CD is that on?
That's on the remastered version of The Circus, the 2-disc version.
Oh, okay.
It's on
Cool.
Spotify as well.
Yeah. What I miss in that version, though, is the keyboard that accompanies Andy in the chorus. That do 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 do. I love that little riff in the version we have on The Innocents. I think that's just beautiful little keyboard there.
Yeah.
That chorus, when I hear the chorus to this song, it's a chorus that could be as big as Chains of Love. The only fault with this song is maybe the verses aren't quite as catchy as Chains of Love, but this chorus is a beast.
Yeah, it is. It is so catchy. And Vince has always been so good about writing catchy choruses. Like he thinks that they're very important to the success of a song, and I don't disagree at all.
I love what Classic Pop Magazine. Have you heard of Classic Pop Magazine?
Mate, I think I might have seen it in the possibly. I'll look out for it.
I love what they said about this track. They point out that there is no resolution to her misery, even as the chorus achieves high energy-ish levels of delirium.
Wow. We're all so happy for her, but wait. Don't you cry. It'll be fine.
Yep.
But will it?
All right, so we are up to song number 4 now. This is a song that everyone will know. It's called Chains of Love.
This was the 3rd single for the UK, but the 1st single for the US. This was released on May 30th, 1988. And I think that date is the same for both countries. So in the US, that was a week after the album came out. Pretty timely. Got to number 11 in the UK. It was the 6th consecutive top 20 hit for Erasure in the UK. And in the US, it went just about as close. It went to number 12 on the regular Hot 100 Billboard chart.
And number 1 on the dance sales chart.
Yes, it hit a lot of different charts in America. It was the first Erasure song to chart on the Billboard Modern Rock chart. Got to number 22 there. It was number 4 on the Hot Dance Club Play chart, but number 1 on the Hot Dance Music Maxi Singles Sale chart. And all these different charts they had. Oh, it's ridiculous. It is still their highest charting single in America.
I'm still not 100% convinced that release date is right for America, because if it came out May 30th or 31st, it peaked on October 29th.
Wow.
It peaked at number 12 on October 29th. It can't have taken 5 months for it to climb the chart.
No, you're right. I did not do what I call backwards math on this one. I just was like, okay.
I mean, I know it probably got momentum. Maybe the 12-inch single came out in May and gained momentum in the clubs and then gave them some confidence in releasing a 7-inch single.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, I know this song was out on the radio and on TV and in the summer. I'm sure,
you know for sure?
I'm sure of it. I'm sure we heard it on the radio in the summertime, even as I was listening to my cassette version of it.
This single is probably my favorite of all Erasure singles, due to the 2 awesome songs that are on the B-sides on the 12-inch vinyl. We get the remake of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, which I think is great. It has the very overused, what I just called the Erasure Gallop, which I think you coined that in our Christmas episode. You get those neat whip sounds and the voices going, ooh, ah, ooh, ah.
You love that kind of stuff.
I do. And then we also get the song Don't Suppose, which is a wonderful song. It's like their attempt at a country song. They even have like a real banjo on it.
Yes, I love that. Banjo and synth. What a tremendous combination. I love it. Love it, love it.
But all 3 of the songs, that was just a fantastic single. Do you like those 2 B-sides, Andrew?
I do. I think that, that they could do no wrong during this period. And that Don't Suppose is a beautiful song. And The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was just a silly, funny thing to do.
I think it's very amusing, but I still find it enjoyable.
Oh, I meant to ask you, what was the B-side of Ship of Fools?
It was When I Needed You.
Oh, okay. That's a good song.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's odd that in the States you had River Deep Mountain High as an extra track when they had another original song that they could have put on there instead. They could have put Don't Suppose on there, which was another B-side.
Yep. I have a comment on that later on.
And my last thing just about the single, I love the sleeve to this record too. I think it looks great. Maybe it's because it cost me so much time and money to win it at the arcade. But
You stared at it all week, so.
There's a toy cowboy hat. There's like a starfish, rocks. There's all this red and blue, red and brown and some blue. It's like a crazy mishmash of stuff, but it works really well to my eye at least.
Strange mix of things.
If it was just completely sepia tone, for instance, the texture of the stuff in the picture still makes it an interesting graphic, I think.
You had a different cover, I think, to us.
Yeah, I think we did. I Googled it and I saw some covers that I didn't recognize, and then I saw mine.
Yeah, so I think the US one was more of like a collage of different things cut into it, whereas ours was just a single photograph of a rock with some pearls around it, I think. But they're both quite strange. Pearls were very big in the 80s, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
The Thompson twins with their pearls as well.
Yep,
yeah,
right.
That's right.
But I wonder if the cowboy thing, is that to do with the B-side and the banjos and stuff? Is that referencing that?
Yeah.
That's what I always assumed. I never saw anything about it.
The Country Joe mix, so I guess.
And the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Oh, and the good, and the bad, and the ugly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I suppose it's just kind of going along with those.
Erasure always chooses really good songs to cover. Like they make interesting choices. Supernature, ABBA, Blondie. They did Blondie on one of the recent albums. They did Cowboy. I guess Cowboy's not really recent.
It's only 20 years old. 21.
I generally like when they do covers of things. Gimme is the best, I think. But
Speaking of covers, did you know that there is a saxophone cover version of this song, Chains of Love?
oh no.
I had to tell you, I knew that you'd be so excited to hear that, Brian. It was done by this man named Carl Catron, and it's from some web series called Jimquisition, and the guy is some kind of... Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell me what you know.
Do you know about Jimquisition, Andrew?
No, never heard of him.
When I
a
was
saxophone.
When I was watching the video for this on YouTube, all the comments, the first 50 to 100 comments are about this guy, Jim Sterling. And I'm like, what does Jim Sterling have to do with this song? Why is everyone talking about him? And everyone's like, I'm here because of Jim. I'm watching this because of Jim. It's crazy. There's this guy named Jim Sterling, and he has a video series on YouTube where he talks about video games. He seems kind of crazy. Like he wears a crazy clothes, and he seems like he's kind of in your face.
Tries to be like controversial and things like that.
So he was putting all this footage of video games in his YouTube clips because he was reviewing the games. And his show's called Jimquisition. And YouTube introduced something called Content ID, which the copyright holders of these games he was showing were able to block his show. Like, they could find, because of Content ID, they could now find that he was showing their game, and they could choose to either block his video or insert ads into his video that they would get the money for.
Oh.
And so Jim Sterling got really upset by it. But instead of shutting down a show or anything, he came up with like a really good strategy. I'm sure there will eventually be, if there isn't already, a legal way around this. But what he did was he just did more and more. He added more and more footage and music. And for some reason, he just decided that anytime he talks about Nintendo, he will play Erasure Chains of Love in the background. So he plays this song like a lot. And what happens is Nintendo, for instance, will say, that's our content. We get an ad in your show.
Yeah.
But Warner Brothers says, that song is our song. We get an ad in that show. And if more than one person makes a claim on his video, they have to legally decide who's going to get what.
Okay.
YouTube stays out of it, and he stays out of it, and the corporate lawyers for Nintendo and Warner Brothers have to argue it out. And it's not enough money for them to really argue about.
Yeah.
So while they ostensibly are figuring it out, he just gets to keep showing his videos, and nothing happens. So he just filled them with so many clips that everyone's going to always fight about it.
Not worth their while, though.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. That's actually very clever.
So it's just, he uses this song almost every single episode. And that's why so many people discovered it, because they heard it on this guy's show.
That's funny.
I'm going to have to check him out.
So at first I wanted to make the very outrageous claim that the rhythm section made this song awesome.
Really?
Yep. That the cool drums, which I read came from a tiny, very basic Casio keyboard.
I can't quite hear that. I mean, do you remember those little VL tone keyboards that everyone had in the early 80s?
He actually used one of those on Start Stop, that assembly B-side.
That's
hear?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
That very kind of clicky sound.
Right. So it's not that one. It can't be that one, but I don't know. Whichever Casio it is, I haven't ever heard it anywhere else. I think I saw something that implied he didn't take it straight from the Casio. He played with it a little bit.
Okay.
To change it around a little bit. But those cool drums and that unstopping bouncing bass line.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That bass line has Vince written all over it. Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to come in here and say, this is what makes this song so awesome. Deal with it. But
Deal with it.
Then the more I listened to it,
come on,
and thought about it, it was like everything in the song stands out simply by the way that it all works so well together. Mm-hmm. Everything in the song blends so perfectly. And I don't know if that's Vince or if it's Steven or what, but a musical genius put this song together.
Or maybe more than one.
Yeah. Great choices for every single keyboard voice. I think every creative decision they made with this track was perfect. The background vocals are really, really nice.
Now, are you talking about the album version?
That's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I seem to recall that there was a single mix that went overboard, way overboard with the female background vocals and completely distracted you from almost every other aspect of the song.
That is so true.
That is not what I'm talking about.
Okay, good.
The way it appears on the album is quite tasty and the perfect amount. Do you remember that mix?
I think that was a mix that you got there that we didn't get here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe that was the one.
The U.S. single version. I didn't go looking up, but I do remember. And that's why I know that this was on the radio, because I heard that version and I was always like slightly annoyed by the overwhelming presence of those backing vocals.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they were necessary. I thought that, like he said, they detracted from the song.
Yeah, it all felt a little bit like they'd over-egged the pudding.
Yep.
Yes.
So as a completist, it probably bothered you that you didn't have that mix, but you really weren't missing out.
It bothered me because I had a friend who went over. She went over to San Francisco, and we were both Erasure fans, and she came back with it, and she almost went to me, "Look what I've got, and you haven't."
Oh no!
That's the worst.
So I taped it off her.
All right. Oh, good. I'm not the only one who does that.
The original UK 12-inch mix, I think, was the Foghorn mix, was the UK 12-inch, which is the good one. And then there was the Truly in Love with the Marx Brothers mix, which wasn't so good. That was more experimental. The original remix is really nice. It's more like a traditional extended version.
I remember that name, the Foghorn mix. I can't think of how the actual mix went, but I know I have that one.
It's on the Erasure box.
And this is another, I think, great lyric from Andy that, once again, just like A Little Respect, it works on many different levels.
Yeah, it's worded. I found a great comment on that. It's worded generically enough that it doesn't have to be about gay couples specifically, but it's hard to read it as anything but a call to arms for lovers in prescribed romances.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I mean, it wasn't, I think at the time here, it wasn't seen as a gay love song at all. I think it was just a positive, happy song. I think its meaning changed over time, maybe.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you think about what it's saying, to me, it is a lament about how times have changed from back how they were in the 70s. Do you remember there was a time when people in the streets would walk hand in hand? And in the 80s, that wasn't happening. So
Yeah, actually. Yeah, you're probably right. Although in the 70s, gay people weren't holding hands.
Well, no, but they weren't. But I think that, I mean, it's just a kind of a reference to how things have changed in the last, say, 10 years. You know, it's kind of like, oh, I wish it were like that again. And we're going to try and work together to do that, you know.
Yeah, heading for that sort of utopia. In the this note I've got here, Andy Bell calls it a happy-go-lucky dance song and was stunned to learn that it was a gay anthem on early US Pride marches. So I think it came as a surprise to them as well.
Yeah, I saw an interview with him where the interviewer told him that everyone was singing it as they marched. And Andy didn't, he was like surprised by that. He was like, oh, well, that's great.
Wow.
I just hadn't thought of it. He said, or something like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
But this is the song, like I have a note here for this lyric, that he wrote this lyric in the same year that the local government bill Clause 28 thing came to be. And it seems like it almost has to be a reaction to that.
Do you remember Once Upon a Time when there were open doors, an invitation to the world, like all that stuff? It's like talking about the past, and this is not the past anymore. I don't know.
But then he says things like that, you know, it's just a happy-go-lucky song. Maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe it was just a crazy coincidence. Although I think
there are other songs on the album that I feel connect more with the whole Clause 28 thing that we'll probably get around to talking about. But no, I can see exactly what you mean, but I don't know.
Well, can I tell you about my misheard lyrics in this one?
Sure.
Because Because I often have those. For a long time, I thought that he was saying, together with me in my bed, we'll break the chains of love. I was like, oh, okay.
It works.
Yeah, I mean, why not? That's a good place to do it, right?
I think we're talking about these things that could be in the lyrics. If you don't think about it too much, it's a celebration of past loves and a happier time that you may have, walked with your baby and just had a better life and better. Your life was a little better. And it's just it's a celebration of love in all of its forms.
I think that's a good way to take it. Yeah.
Who can't get behind that?
Right. Who doesn't love love?
And this one, I think of this as like the most overplayed Erasure single and video here in the U.S. I think anyone who's a pop music fan in the 80s saw this video.
Yeah, I do too.
And so what do we think about this video? Was this a good track for this song?
We're sighing. That's never a good sign, is it?
In the UK, this is a very forgotten single. It didn't really, I think commercially it did a lot, but I think it came and went very quickly, and it was overshadowed by, Ship of Fools was the first single, and A Little Respect was the huge single. And this sort of got a bit lost, this track. And I think that if you asked most people to pick an Erasure single, they probably wouldn't even remember this song. It really didn't make as much of an impact in the same way, I don't think, here.
That's so remarkable to me. Such a difference.
I get a feeling here in the U.S., even though this song charted like 2 positions higher than A Little Respect, I think A Little Respect is the single that people would be...
I think it has stood the test of time.
Yeah, better than this song.
I think back in, say, if you had said and asked in 1990, just a couple of years after this album had come out, which song people remembered, I think they would probably still say Chains of Love at that point. Yeah. But then maybe 10, 15, 20 years on, you're going to hear the answer, A Little Respect.
Yeah, I agree.
Evidenced by the fact that A Little Respect is in Rock Band and Chains of Love is not, right?
Oh, right. True. Yeah. It's a downloadable song in the video game Rock Band.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because it didn't make the top 10 here in the UK. Just scraped outside at 11.
That's right. That's right.
I got to give them 1 extra point just for being such a friendly song.
You do. All right. Whatever good that will do them. So I guess we have to go back to this video, and it's another Peter Christopherson epic. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Same video? Same
yeah,
director?
Same guy. Yeah. So he did 2 of the 3 videos for this, and they're on chains.
I do like the yeah, this is pretty literal too.
Yeah.
I like the concept of this video. When they sat down and said to him, here's our idea, it had to have sounded cool.
Yeah, like, we're going to put you on chains and we're going to swing you around, and we'll put some equipment swinging around on chains in the air as well.
It's lit so terribly.
Oh, it is.
The lighting of this, the whole way through is terrible.
So the very beginning, Vince is playing a little Casio. Perhaps it's the one that made that little drum sound. I don't know. But there's that colored lighting on him, and he looks seasick. He's like greenish blue, and
he's that blue color from Ship of Fools.
Yeah, it's very unflattering.
Speaking of unflattering, the white T-shirt is back. The tight white T-shirt.
The Andy uniform.
I always wondered with this video whether it was actually shot in black and white, and those colors are just put on afterwards.
Oh.
It's a strange effect when you look at it.
It makes you think of the kind of quality of colors you got in the 80s when Ted Turner would colorize an old black and white movie that didn't need to be colored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Bits of it that are in color, but it does seem very, very monochrome, doesn't it?
Yeah, muted and washed out. Mm-hmm. But you can pick up the colors on that amazing flamenco top that he's wearing at one point. It's very colorful and very frilly and... Yeah. Does he wear something like that later? Does he wear that in Stop?
I don't remember.
I thought Stop he just wore the plain white T-shirt.
Okay. I feel like when we talked about that, there was some weird outfit that he had on, but
we do get the quick cuts that I was asking for in Ship of Fools.
Right.
We do get that more modern editing sensibility for the video here, and we get a lot of cool camera shots. I mean, there's the cool part where like Vince pulls himself pretty quickly. He grabs a chain and pulls on it, and it raises him up.
Yeah, he's pretty good at climbing that thing.
He is pretty good, considering he hated it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Well, as you can imagine, I think Vince hates almost everything, but he was talking about how uncomfortable he was the whole time.
Well, sure. Just imagine being strapped into that harness and
It's filled with awesome things like swinging on chains and that suspended grand piano, and there's nice camera work, but it just looks so low budget.
In the end, it does. I think it does.
And that's the thing. At this point in time, to me, Erasure was one of the... I knew that my friends didn't love Erasure, but to me, Erasure was one of the biggest bands in the world, and their music is so bright and colorful. I wanted a video that looked expensive and was worthy of them, and captured some of the color that was in their music, captured that in the video.
Just another instance of the record company doing them wrong.
Or an example of me just wanting too much from... Because I had no idea. Something that Andrew said earlier when you were giving your idea for the video for Little Respect, where the guy walks out in the street and everybody falls into step. And Andrew said, like, I'm sure the record company wants to pay for that.
Yeah.
I always thought that in this place called the UK overseas, there was nobody bigger than Depeche Mode and nobody bigger than Erasure, and money was no object. They could do whatever they wanted. That's how I pictured it. And then from doing this show, a guy who we were talking with who went to Blackwing Studios sent us pictures of Blackwing Studios, which it was nothing like I pictured it. Blackwing Studios is so...
It was a little dump, wasn't it? A little chair.
Yep. It was like the mecca of high technology to me in my head. So
your version of reality
back in '88 was very wrong.
You suppose you need to remember that Mute Records was an independent label.
Very true.
Yeah, and I never kept that in mind.
You know, they're a tiny label, but they just had a few acts that made a lot of money for them, but not enough that they could probably afford to be that lavish with videos. But yeah, they were still, they were a small league compared to the likes of EMI and all of those big labels.
So true. Yeah, and it wasn't like Vince was going to say, "Yeah, we need to spend more money on videos."
Nope.
Maybe Andy would, but he would have been outnumbered.
As did the mystery third person wrapped up in toilet tissue.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I saw that and I was like, wait, that's not either of them, is it? I don't know. It's like the cameraman and you accidentally got in a shot or something, or I don't know. It's really strange. It's like a mummy.
Shredded mummy.
Yeah.
Thumbs down for this.
Thumbs
down for the video.
Thumbs down for the video. All right, but how many thumbs up for the song? Like 3, 4, 6?
Oh, I love the song. I give it 10 out of 10, the song. I think it's a great track.
Awesome. Okay.
All right, so that brings us to the final song on side 1.
Wow.
This is an album cut. This was not released, and it's a song called Hallowed Ground.
Kids hang around by the old school ground, right by the river where the body was found, throwing stones on hallowed ground. Who'll be there? Who'll be the next victim of the criminal dawn? All friends meet on the edge of town, sharing conversation, hoping things will soon get better while their children meet.
A wonderful track. That's one of my favorites on the album, actually. I think it's just so lush, and I feel that's an overused word, isn't it, in this episode. But I think it's a really good song. I think it just does all the right things for me. And when I discovered it was based on Elvis Presley's In the Ghetto, that was even...
Is it really? I saw some reference to that, and I was like, really? Is this Erasure's attempt at In the Ghetto? Really? Oh.
It's based on that simply as like it took inspiration from that. It didn't like steal like a chord structure or anything, right? It just is the same kind of theme.
I think musically that there's a sort of similarity there.
Really?
But I'm not a big Elvis fan, so I wouldn't be able to.
Haven't heard that song in a while, but just the little pieces I can bring back to my mind right now. I don't know. Anyway, the theme of social problems and, things like that, I can definitely tie them together.
I mean, Andy Bell said that it was actually lyrically and musically influenced by that song.
Oh, good heavens.
Oh, did he?
Okay. Well, I guess we have to believe him.
But I can't remember the lyrics to the Elvis song.
Well, speaking of lyrics, this is a pretty much a departure for Erasure lyrics, isn't it?
Well,
yeah, I mean, it starts off with everybody's intent on killing someone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that is
from Chains of Love to
Well, that's a good point.
People.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Chains of Love.
I was just thinking that, most of the time I think of them as just very personal, relationship-driven lyrics, and then there's this song.
And then there's The Circus.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, I saw a comment where someone claimed that this was the obligatory social commentary song on the album.
Oh.
Now, I would say they didn't realize how many there actually were on the album, but this is definitely the most obvious one. I mean, because everyone knows about guns and killing people and, bums on the street and this and that.
I love the warmth of those chords at the start of the song. It pulls you into the song, I think, which helps because it's a really, really good song, but it's not one of the most like sing-along kind of tunes.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, that's what I think. It does have some really nice harmonies and a very, very pretty sweet chorus.
Oh, yeah.
But I just don't think that this is a song that, like Chains of Love, everyone's going to sing along with and be happy. This one is not one you're going to sing along with, but I think that the way that the music and the accompaniment that they give us just draws you right into this, and even though it may not be quite as catchy, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a bittersweetness to it for me. I completely agree with you that it's not the sort of song you'd sing out loud and feel good about, but it's definitely a song that I sing along to when it comes on.
Oh, yeah.
it's just a beautiful piece of music, I think.
It really
just
is.
It's very haunting, and it just seems perfect for the lyrics as well.
Yeah, I love this song. I sing along with the whole thing. Now, I'll say it's very hard for me to sing in the beginning of the verses because he sings so low. I have to change octaves when I sing that. I can't sing the first half of the verse like that. But then when he gets to that chorus, oh my gosh, I love the song, but I've always especially loved the chorus. I love the chord sequence. It just has this wistful feel to it, even without paying attention to the words.
Oh, yeah.
The music, it gives me the same feeling as the chords in A Question of Lust and the chorus of that.
Yes,
I don't know why. I looked up the chords in both of the choruses. I wanted to see what the sequence was. They're not the same at all. And I don't know enough about music to know if these are significant or unusual, but the chord sequence in this chorus is B, G, E, B minor, and A. And I don't know what that means, but that's what it is.
My limited knowledge of music would have thought it would have way more minor chords.
Yeah, I know.
G is a very happy chord if you just strum it on a guitar. And you don't pick that, you don't get that sense from this chorus at all.
When I look at Question of Lust chords, this makes more sense because they've got A, B, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, A, G, C, A minor, B minor, B. I don't know. Something about the way that these chords in this song are presented and with that accompaniment, I just love how all of the sounds of this song come together. I could play this song over and over again just to hear the chorus.
It's very bass driven as well. I think it's got that sort of chugging bass line, I think, which is really nice.
Yes, this is.
Dun, 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 dun. It sort of feels like a train almost.
This is a wonderful driving song. It's got a driving down the road tempo. It's 88 beats per minute. Trust me on this one. It's a forward moving beat. I've had this discussion with my husband before. There's two kinds of beats. You've got the one where you're going forward, and then there's the one where you're going up and down. This is a forward one where you move your head forward like a chicken instead of up and down like you're nodding. But if you're gonna bop your head to this song, you're gonna bop it, front to back kind of. And it's perfect for driving.
Earlier we were talking about Andy's track listing. Andrew, you sort of said you had some problems with it. I said there was like one thing that I didn't like about it.
Okay.
This is the one song that made me think a little bit about the track listing because this song sort of has the same feel and tone as Ship of Fools to me, at least whenever I listen to it.
Yeah.
And they're both here. They're just separated by a few songs on side one. And then when you flip the record, we're going to get Yahoo and Witch in the Ditch, which both stand out as not being typical Erasure songs. I always thought that the tone of the record might be helped or improved a little bit by switching Hallowed Ground in Yahoo. I would have liked this song to start off side two after the crazy instrumental. It would just shake up the tone, the kind of dark tone that tries to pervade on side one but fails because Chains of Love and Little Respect are just too upbeat and awesome. But it's not anything I obsessed over because obviously the record works the way it is. But I just always found it kind of strange that this song and Ship of Fools were so close to each other on the record.
Yeah, I think I'd probably agree, actually. I think that Weight of the World as well is in the wrong place. I think ending the album with that doesn't feel right to me. I like albums that finish on a big high. I think Yahoo would have been a nice close to the album, and I wouldn't have even bothered with 65,000. I'd have taken that off.
Ah.
Yeah, Yahoo would work as a closer. I never thought about that.
I like where Weight of the World is. I think I might have switched Hallowed Ground and Imagination. I think Imagination would be a good way to end side one.
Yeah.
That's probably better than my suggestion.
Well, I don't know, but I think that the tempo change between this one is only 88 beats per minute. Imagination is 114. The one before it is 105. There's, a section in the middle of the second side where everything is very similar in tempo. We don't have a lot of breaks and changes. I think this would have been a good break for that kind of monotony. It's not, that sounds bad, but I think, guys, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. You like songs that end on a sad note more.
Well,
albums.
Honestly, I think Weight of the World is hopeful and encouraging, but we'll get to that later.
I do love that song. I think Weight of the World's a beautiful song, but it just feels sad that it's there at the end, really. It feels a bit tagged on. But anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah. We're giving
I really want to skip to that discussion now, because I have a bunch of notes about Erasure closing songs. That's something I wanted to talk about.
We'll have to save that for the next episode, but now we've got people really interested to listen to it, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah. We're not giving it all away yet.
So I think this song is a really strong example of this new maturity, this new mature Erasure that we were talking about.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's a good song to close side one, even though I just said maybe I would move it. But I think this mature Erasure, we've beaten this into the ground already, but I just have it written here, so I'm just going to say it. There's so many factors that are attributing to this great new sound of theirs that Vince growing as a songwriter and Andy growing into his role and giving, an equal part to the songwriting, and Stephen Hague coming on board and having a really strong musical background and knowing what he wants to do. There's so many great things working together on the first side of this record to make it the awesome experience that it is.
Yeah, we kind of didn't go over any reviews for this because it wasn't a single, but I do have some really good comments that I think would tie in nicely with what you've just said. A guy named Michael R. Smith reviewed this song and he said, "Hallowed Ground is one of my favorite slow songs by Erasure because it is the perfect marriage between music and lyrics. It is also a great showcase for Andy Bell's range as a professional vocalist." And I agree as well.
Yep.
It's another one where he goes from low to high and does very well in every area. And Metro Weekly, once again, comes in with a really nice comment. "The slow building arrangement, especially during Bell's double-tracked vocals and Stephen Hague's production, are particularly effective here." And I think we would all agree.
Definitely.
So before we go, I have one more thing I have to say. I'm always having these misheard lyrics. So my misheard lyric on this one is, "Lost his money on the Dodson gin." I thought he was naming a specific brand of gin, like some kind of gin that was available in Britain. The Dodson gin. Oh man, that sounds like some bad stuff.
He had been a multimillionaire, but that gin was so expensive he lost his entire fortune on it. Very few people could afford it.
Yeah, that may be why when I looked it up just to see if it possibly existed, I did not find any results on Google.
They went out of business. No one could afford it.
I should have teased you and said it is. It's a very famous brand.
You should have.
Yeah,
you weren't wrong. That's the lyric.
Is that what you're drinking right now? In fact,
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're drinking.
Cheers.
All right, folks. Well, that has been the entire first side of this great 1988 record. I have no clue how long it took us because...
Oh, yeah. We had some technical difficulties.
We had some technical issues, so...
Well, it's as long as it's going to be.
Yep. And hopefully you will enjoy it, folks. And if you have enjoyed our talk about this 1988 Erasure album, please let us know either on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you there and like to hear what you guys think about this record. And like we always say on iTunes, we appreciate reviews there.
Yep.
And we're trying to be on Twitter. Like we said before, I'm terrible at Twitter.
And then there's good old-fashioned email, too, which you can access through our website.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because we've gotten quite a few good messages there as well.
That's right.
So don't count them out.
And don't forget, you can find out what Andrew thinks about all different kinds of music each and every month in Classic Pop Magazine.
Yes, or every other month, perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
On a regular basis.
There we go.
He's in there. Right, Andrew?
That's correct, yeah. The best article in the magazine.
That's right.
No
Definitely.
doubt.
Definitely. So, Andrew, thanks again for joining us as we talk about this great record. I'm having a lot of fun.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking me. It has been a lot of fun.
Well, you ready to continue? You willing to flip this record and talk about side 2? That will be in our next episode. I can't wait.
So thanks for listening, everybody, and we will talk to you in about a week.
Bye.
Hey folks, it's your second favorite host, Brian, and I'm taking the opportunity here at the end of the episode to do something that I should have done in the episode proper, and that was to do a full reset on who Andrew is. The secret here is that we did all these episodes, all 3 of them, at one time, on one day, and then occasionally, you probably could figure it out, occasionally we acted like it was a different week, but we didn't always worry about it. So in this second episode, I did mention his column in Classic Pop Magazine, Pop Art, which is excellent, and he told us it's going to jump to a bi-monthly basis. He's been doing it for 2 years on a monthly basis, and now it's going to be bi-monthly. So if you don't get Classic Pop Magazine, I really would recommend it. Also, I should have mentioned on this episode Andrew's excellent podcast, Art on Your Sleeve, which I highly recommend. Like I said, I've listened to every episode. There's only 4, I think, right now, but they're all great, very interesting, and you can get it on iTunes or anywhere that you get your podcasts. If you're listening to our podcast, you can definitely get his wherever you're getting ours. And finally, I should have just pointed out his Twitter if you'd like to follow him to read his daily musings on music and art and many different interesting things. You can follow him at DishyD on Twitter, DisheeDee. I'm terrible at spelling things out loud, and even worse when people spell things at me. I can't follow it at all. But anyway, thanks again to Andrew for sitting in with us. I had a blast, and I hope it was fun to listen to. See ya.
Flowers chameleon.